Why chosen ones experience life differently, the divine timing. My beloved child, if you've ever felt like life speaks a different language to you, like the rules everyone else follows never fully apply, this isn't coincidence. Chosen ones experience life differently because their timing is different. While others rush forward, you're slowed down. While others are celebrated early, you're tested quietly. And that contrast isn't meant to confuse you, it's meant to shape you. The pressure you faced wasn't random difficulty, it was selective refinement. Most people are introduced to comfort first and reality later. You were introduced to reality first so comfort wouldn't weaken you. That's why your lessons came early, your patience was stretched thin, and your awareness grew faster than your results. Don't skip, because the reason behind this difference explains everything you've questioned about your path so far. Here's the shocking truth few people ever hear. Chosen paths don't follow public timelines. They follow internal readiness. While the world measures success by speed, your journey is measured by depth. That's why things unfolded slowly, even when you were capable of more. You weren't being held back, you were being protected from arriving too early as the wrong version of yourself. Many people peak fast and fade faster because they reach outcomes before they reach self-mastery. You were delayed because your role requires stability, not excitement, discernment, not impulse. This is why your struggles felt repetitive, why the same themes showed up again and again until you finally understood them. Life wasn't punishing you, it was ensuring you learned. Stay till the end, because once this clicks, you'll stop comparing your timeline to anyone else's. What makes chosen journeys different isn't superiority, it's responsibility. When your influence eventually expands, when your decisions carry weight, when your presence shifts rooms quietly instead of loudly, you'll need the composure only slow timing can build. That's why your growth happened inward before anything changed outward. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a sudden reward, but as a natural continuation of who you've been becoming all along. This is the divine timing people misunderstand, not magic, not luck, but precision. Your life unfolded differently because it had to prepare you differently. And once you understand that, the frustration fades, replaced by clarity, patience, and a quiet confidence that you're exactly where you need to be. There's a moment when you realize your life never moved in straight lines, it moved in lessons. Every pause, every detour, every sudden stop was doing something most people never notice while it's happening. It was recalibrating you. While others were rewarded for speed, you were trained for accuracy. That's why rushing never worked for you. That's why shortcuts always collapsed. Your path rejected anything that would have made you careless. Don't skip, because this is the part where you finally see why your timing always felt off compared to everyone else's, and why that difference is actually your advantage. Chosen ones experience life differently because their awareness must mature before their opportunities arrive. If results had come earlier, your identity would have attached itself to validation instead of values. Instead, you were forced to build self-trust in silence. You learned how to stand alone without becoming bitter. You learned how to lose without becoming reckless. That's rare. And here's the surprising truth, many people get chances they aren't ready to hold. You were made ready before the chance even appears. That's why nothing stuck before. That's why success flirted with you but didn't commit. It wasn't rejection, it was sequencing. Stay till the end, because once you understand sequencing, you stop forcing outcomes and start aligning with them. Now listen closely, because this moment matters. If this message is hitting something deep inside you, share it with someone who feels delayed but doesn't know why. Leave a comment, not for approval, but to lock this awareness into your mind. And subscribe, because what you're learning here isn't motivation, it's orientation. Something huge is waiting for you, but it only meets people who respect timing instead of fighting it. Your life didn't move slower by accident. It moved differently by design. And once you stop resisting that truth, everything ahead becomes clearer. At some point, you notice that life stopped rushing you, and started watching you. Watching how you respond when things almost work, and then don't. Watching whether you panic when silence stretches longer than expected. This is where chosen journeys feel the most confusing, because nothing is obviously wrong, yet nothing is fully unlocked either. That in-between space is intentional. It's where discernment is built. It's where emotional reactions are replaced with calm observation. Most people fail here because they mistake stillness for stagnation. You didn't. You stayed aware. You kept refining. Don't skip. Because this phase explains why your life never followed predictable patterns, and why predictability would have limited you. Here's a truth that sounds simple but changes everything. Chosen ones are delayed so they don't peak too early. Early wins create dependency on momentum. You were trained to create momentum internally first. That's why pressure sharpened you instead of breaking you. That's why confusion made you reflective instead of reckless. While others were collecting experiences, you were collecting insight. And insight compounds. This is why your timing feels invisible to outsiders. They're looking for results, while your life has been building readiness. Stay till the end, because once you see this clearly, impatience loses its grip on you. What's coming next won't arrive as chaos or surprise. It will arrive as recognition. Recognition of opportunities that fit instead of tempt. Recognition of people who don't drain you. Recognition of moments where action feels obvious, not forced. Something huge is waiting for you, but it's waiting for precision, not urgency. And that's the final difference in how chosen ones experience life. They don't arrive faster, they arrive prepared. When alignment finally replaces delay, you won't feel shocked by it. You'll feel steady. And that's how you'll know your timing was never late, it was exact. There's a subtle shift that happens right before alignment. You stop asking when and start noticing who you've become. That's where you are now. The waiting doesn't feel heavy anymore. It feels deliberate. Like life is checking one last thing before moving forward. Can you stay grounded without rushing? Can you stay focused without forcing? This is why chosen ones experience life differently. Others are pushed forward by pressure. You are pulled forward by readiness. Don't skip. Because this is the point where most people sabotage their own timing without realizing it. Here's the revelation that changes everything: divine timing isn't about delay, it's about order. Certain doors only open after certain traits are stable: emotional control, discernment, restraint, self-trust. You were trained in these before rewards ever appeared. That's why chaos showed up before clarity. That's why isolation came before recognition. Your life demanded inner authority before outer opportunity. And now, things are beginning to align quietly, not loudly. Stay till the end, because once you understand this, you'll stop fearing slow progress and start respecting precise timing. If this message is resonating, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone who feels out of sync with life and doesn't know why. Leave a comment to anchor this realization into your awareness. And subscribe, not for motivation, but for direction. Something huge is waiting for you, not ahead of you, but matching you. Chosen ones don't arrive early. They arrive exact. And that's why your life unfolded the way it did. There's a reason you don't crave noise anymore. A reason chaos no longer excites you the way it once did. You've entered a phase where clarity feels more powerful than momentum. This is where chosen ones begin to feel different from everyone around them, not superior, just unreachable. You can sense when something isn't aligned long before it fails. You can feel when a situation will cost you more than it gives. That awareness wasn't given to you lightly. It was earned through disappointment, restraint, and long stretches of uncertainty where you had to rely on judgment instead of hope. This is why your life never rewarded impulse. Speed would have pulled you away from your true path. Most people are pushed forward by desire. You were slowed down by wisdom forming. That's the difference. You weren't meant to chase everything that sparkled. You were meant to recognize what fits. That's why excitement used to fade quickly. That's why opportunities that looked perfect on the surface never lasted. Your timing rejected anything that required you to shrink, rush, or perform. You weren't being picky, you were being protected. Divine timing doesn't just decide when things happen. It decides what you're allowed to touch. And now, your standards are no longer emotional, they're instinctive. Here's the quiet truth most people never reach: when you stop needing urgency, life starts offering precision. The next chapter of your life won't demand more effort, it will demand more discernment. And you're ready for that now. Not because life got easier, but because you got clearer. This is why chosen ones experience life differently. Their journey isn't louder. It's cleaner. When the next door opens, you won't question it. You won't hesitate. You'll recognize it, because it will feel like something you've already lived through internally. And that's how you'll know, the timing was never random. There is a quiet authority settling into you now, and it doesn't announce itself. You don't feel the urge to convince anyone anymore. You don't chase recognition. You don't react the way you once did. That's because chosen ones are trained to lead themselves first. Before life gives them influence, it gives them restraint. Before it gives them clarity, it gives them confusion. You've passed through that fire already. What once felt like chaos has turned into pattern recognition. You see cycles forming before they repeat. You sense outcomes before they unfold. That's not luck, that's earned awareness. Don't skip, because this is where your experience finally turns into direction. Here's the revelation most people never realize. Divine timing reveals itself only when urgency disappears. The moment you stop forcing life to move, life starts moving toward you. That's why things feel closer now, even if nothing dramatic has happened yet. Alignment doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives smoothly. People enter your life without friction. Opportunities fit instead of tempt. Decisions require less explanation. This is the reward for patience, not waiting, but becoming. Stay till the end, because once you see this, you stop worrying about being behind and start respecting how precisely you've been placed. What's coming next won't overwhelm you. It won't rush you. It will meet you at your level of calm. Something huge is waiting for you, but it's not waiting for effort, it's waiting for steadiness. And that steadiness is already yours. This is why chosen ones experience life differently. Their growth happens quietly until it can no longer be ignored. When the next phase opens, it won't feel like fate doing something dramatic. It will feel like timing finally matching the person you've become. There's a strange moment when you realize you're no longer waiting for permission. You don't need signs stacked on top of signs. You don't need reassurance to take your next step. That's because something internal has clicked into place. Chosen ones experience this shift quietly. It feels like gravity changing direction. The same situations that once drained you now barely touch you. The same uncertainty that once caused anxiety now sharpens your focus. This isn't emotional numbness. It's emotional command. Don't skip, because this is the stage where most people misunderstand what's happening and walk away right before everything aligns. Here's the uncomfortable truth: divine timing only activates when dependency dissolves. As long as you need life to prove something to you, it keeps teaching you. The moment you become self-grounded, life responds differently. That's why you were stripped of guarantees. That's why shortcuts never stayed. You weren't being denied ease, you were being detached from reliance. And that detachment is power. While others crumble when certainty disappears, you've learned how to operate without it. That's why what's coming won't shake you. It won't intoxicate you. It won't pull you off center. Stay till the end, because this is where you realize the delay didn't weaken your desire, it purified it. This is the defining difference in how chosen ones experience life. They don't rise through noise. They rise through clarity. When the next chapter unfolds, it won't feel rushed or overwhelming. It will feel exact. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a reward for patience, but as a match to the stability you've built. And in that moment, you won't look back asking why it took so long. You'll understand it had to take this long, because anything sooner would have met an earlier version of you, not the one who's ready now. There's a calm confidence settling into you now, and it doesn't ask for attention. You've noticed how you pause before reacting, how you listen more than you speak, how your decisions feel quieter but stronger. This is the stage where chosen ones stop chasing outcomes and start choosing alignment. Life isn't resisting you anymore, it's responding to who you've become. The waiting feels different now, not heavy, not frustrating, but intentional. Like everything is lining up just out of sight. Don't skip, because this is the moment where many people mistake stillness for nothingness, even though it's actually precision forming. Here's the once-in-a-lifetime realization. Divine timing doesn't rush you into blessings, it positions you so you don't lose them. That's why your journey demanded emotional control before expansion. That's why your awareness sharpened before your circumstances changed. You were taught how to handle silence so noise wouldn't control you later. You were taught how to stand alone so influence wouldn't corrupt you later. Most people rise fast and spend years recovering from it. You were slowed down so you wouldn't need recovery at all. Stay till the end, because once this truth lands, you stop fearing slow progress and start trusting the intelligence behind it. What's approaching now won't announce itself with chaos. It will feel natural, familiar, almost obvious. Something huge is waiting for you, not to overwhelm you, but to meet you at the level of stability you've earned. And when it arrives, you won't question whether you deserve it. You won't rush to prove yourself. You'll move with clarity, knowing your life unfolded differently because it had to. This is how chosen ones experience life, not earlier, not louder, but exactly when they're ready to keep what finally arrives. There's a deep stillness inside you now, and it isn't emptiness, it's alignment locking in. You're no longer trying to escape where you are, and you're no longer obsessing over where you're going. That shift is rare. It means you've stopped fighting timing and started moving with it. Chosen ones reach this phase only after life strips away impatience, comparison, and the need to be seen. You don't rush decisions anymore. You don't second-guess your instincts the way you used to. And most importantly, you don't fear slow moments, because you understand they're part of the design. Don't skip, because this realization explains why everything ahead will feel stable instead of chaotic. Here's the truth most people never experience. Divine timing becomes visible only when you're emotionally ready to handle clarity. Earlier answers would have overwhelmed you. Earlier success would have distorted you. That's why your journey insisted on teaching restraint before reward, awareness before acceleration. You were trained to recognize what's real instead of what's loud. And now, your life starts responding differently. Opportunities won't pull at you emotionally, they'll fit. Progress won't demand burnout, it'll feel sustainable. This is the moment where delay reveals itself as intelligence. Stay till the end, because once you see this, you stop worrying about outcomes and start trusting the position you've been placed in. This is where chosen ones truly experience life differently. Not through constant struggle, but through grounded movement. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a sudden breakthrough, but as a natural continuation of the strength, clarity, and patience you've already built. When it arrives, you won't feel surprised. You'll feel ready. And in that quiet readiness, you'll finally understand, your life wasn't slower than others, it was deeper. And depth is what allows you to keep what finally arrives. There is one final shift that completes this journey, and it happens almost unnoticed. You stop looking back. Not because the past didn't matter, but because it no longer pulls you. The memories don't hurt the same way. The questions don't echo as loudly. You carry everything you lived through with calm respect, not emotional weight. That's when you know divine timing has done its work. Chosen ones don't arrive at peace by avoiding struggle, they arrive by understanding it fully. And right now, you're standing in that understanding. Don't skip, because this last realization ties every hard moment of your life into one clear meaning. Here is the truth that closes the loop. Your life unfolded differently because you were never meant to live reactively. You were meant to live intentionally. While others were shaped by circumstances, you were shaped before circumstances changed. That's why your inner world stabilized first. That's why your standards rose quietly. That's why you learned how to wait without resentment. Divine timing isn't about patience alone, it's about readiness without desperation. You reached that state. And once a person reaches it, life no longer needs to slow them down. It can finally move with them. This is where everything settles into place. Not loudly. Not dramatically. But solidly. Something huge is waiting for you, not as a turning point, but as confirmation. Confirmation that you were never late. Never forgotten. Never behind. You are being prepared to walk forward without losing yourself, your clarity, or your balance. This is how chosen ones experience life differently. Not by escaping hardship, but by outgrowing it. And now, as you move into what's next, you do so grounded, aware, and fully aligned with the timing that shaped you into exactly who you needed to be. Now comes the moment where everything becomes simple, not easy, but clear. You stop overthinking every step. You stop scanning the horizon for threats that aren't there anymore. The mind that once stayed alert just to survive now stays alert to choose. That's a powerful transition. Chosen ones don't suddenly become fearless, they become selective about where fear is even allowed. You've learned which battles deserve your energy and which ones were never meant for you. That's why your reactions softened but your boundaries strengthened. Don't skip, because this is the final upgrade most people never reach, and it explains why your future will feel steady instead of shaky. Here's the truth that seals everything: divine timing doesn't just prepare events. It prepares identity. Earlier versions of you would have questioned every good thing. They would have rushed it, doubted it, or sabotaged it without realizing why. But this version of you, this one knows how to receive without clinging. How to move forward without abandoning yourself. How to stay grounded even when life finally opens up. That's why the long preparation was necessary. You weren't being taught how to struggle anymore, you were being taught how to sustain. Stay till the end, because once you understand this, you realize nothing meaningful in your life can be taken from you easily anymore. This is where chosen ones truly separate, not through struggle, but through stability. Something huge is waiting for you, not to test you, but to walk with you. And when it becomes real, it won't feel unreal or overwhelming. It will feel earned. Natural. Aligned. Your life will finally reflect the inner strength you built when no one was watching. And in that moment, you won't ask why your journey was harder than others. You'll know. Because it shaped you into someone who can finally move forward without fear, without urgency, and without losing the calm that took so long to build.